We don't have much ego. I think we're very normal guys that really just enjoy the shooting sport. We're just a bunch of gun nerds.
It's just a fun place to be. It's a club.
I would say we take our knowledge seriously. We obviously, with our range, we take our safety very seriously, but we have a tendency to not take ourselves too seriously.
Hi, I'm Old Norse Specialist Dr. Jackson Crawford, and today I want to introduce you to another one of my favorite places in Colorado and Wyoming. Today, I'm at Trigger Time Gun Club in Longmont, Colorado.
As a younger person, when I first became of age to start shooting and purchasing my own handguns, I remembered gun shops as being a very fun place, a very enjoyable place. And so growing up with that and being around that when I was younger made me want to have Trigger Time be exactly the same. So our vision was to be a family-friendly shooting center that we've got fathers that come in. They come in with their wife, they come in with their son and daughter. Being a full family. We've got families that come out here and that's one of their forms of recreation that they have. The whole family is shooting. Another thing that we've got, a national average when we built Trigger Time was 7% female shooters. We were at 22% last checked, and that has been a couple years ago, but that far supersedes what the national average is, and that's what we try to do here. That's how we treat our people, that's how comfortable people feel in here. We try to answer any question when people come in, whether that's a very elementary question, it can be the very first time shooter, and we try to make them feel very comfortable here with asking the questions. We've got a female trainer. Sometimes we see that women want to train with another woman, especially when they first get going, to learn what are the differences between carrying from a woman's perspective versus a man's perspective.
I'm Perry Morris. I'm one of the instructors here. We have two instructors, Kara Cooper is the other one, and me. And I mainly do private lessons, mostly pistol. That's mostly my forte. I do some rifle as well. The first thing I'm looking for in a student is the willingness to learn. Usually that's not a problem because they're coming to us for instruction, so they have the motivation to learn. The next thing is just being able to try and apply the techniques as best they can. We emphasize dry fire quite a bit to help students move along in their shooting progression. And then as far as the first lesson is concerned, mainly if someone's never shot and they don't know what gun that they would like to try to purchase, we'll have them rent 3 rental guns and shoot each gun several times. Because the first time they shoot, they're going to be nervous and they're not going to notice things about the guns, different guns, as far as where the controls are, how easy they are to reach, how the gun fits their hand, how well they can manipulate the controls, and then which gun they shoot the best. We usually spend about an hour in the first lesson just in the classroom going over safe gun handling skills, the basics of shooting, gun handling, manipulation, how to load the gun properly, operate safeties, and all the controls. And then the basics of grip, stance, sight alignment, sight picture, trigger control, and follow through. And after that, we go down to the range and usually spend about a half an hour, 10 hours shooting. So their first lesson is going to be pretty extensive in choosing rental guns, the classroom experience, and then the shooting. It usually lasts around 2 to 2.5 hours for their first lesson. After that, general instruction is usually an hour.
And how many hours with you does it take for someone to go from novice to grandmaster?
3.
I'm a precision rifle guy. I met Paul years ago and started shooting long guns with him, and that's my favorite thing. I love getting outdoors and shooting far. I like the cerebral aspect of it. It's a very fun community of guys. Some disciplines are very serious, and people are very closed off and really serious about their game. I like the precision rifle guys tend to be much more open and helpful until you're really competing at the upper level where you might get a little separated from the fun and the help. But overall, I just really like the group of guys. I think Trigger Time's a great spot for the precision rifle crowd. We tend to stock, try to be very current with everything on the market, from laser rangefinders to current calibers. We're always trying new things. We're wildcats a little bit in the cartridges. And it's just, it's really our passion from the top down. It's what we like to do. It's very natural for us to help and offer pointers and help guide people through decisions on kit, and, you know, to allow them to not stumble on things. It's nice to get somebody set on the right path and set them up with the right things so they're not frustrated. My goal for everybody when we set them up is to, I want everything to point back at the shooter, right? I don't want them to guess, is it my rings, is it the scope, is it the setup, right? We try to turn them out, so if we take them to our ranch or they go shoot to anywhere else, they know it's fundamentals, right? My wind call was wrong, my fundamentals need a little bit of work, but they're not second guessing the kit. We try to remove that from their equation. We've got a ranch out in eastern Colorado. It's about 1,000 acres. We've got steel set up anywhere from a couple hundred yards out to just shy of a mile. Several different directions the steel is set up in, so we can play in a little different wind directions. Different shapes, they give you different shape targets, give you a little bit of different feedback. Sometimes when you're hitting on a square target and you move to a diamond shaped target, you'll find that your elevation isn't quite right and you're over the tips of the diamond. So we just try to lay out a good course for guys to go practice on, get good drops. It's pretty critical to have real known drops, so we have steel every 100 yards fixed out to 1,000, so you can really hone in on what your bullet's really doing out there, and then we'll coach everybody in from there, get them good drops and get good data, so that next time they're out, whether it's with us or hunting or out at a competition, they've got good confidence in their numbers.
Here at Trigger Time, we are a members only. So to shoot here, you have to be a member. To have access to the range, you have to be a member or be the guest of a member. Our store is open, the pro shop and the gunsmith is open to the public. But one of the big, I guess, benefits to being a members-only gun club is we know each and every member. When a member comes in, we know you by name. We do our very best to call you by name, to know something about you. Our people is Trigger Time Gun Club. The name implies it is a club. We are friends. It is almost a way of life for us here. And the other thing that being a members-only gun club really does promote is safety. And so much so that even insurance companies recognize that a members-only club is so much safer than an open-to-public club that they give you a huge discount on your liability insurance. So it's recognized by them. The other thing is, when you've invested the money to become a member here at Trigger Time, you're obviously an enthusiast, or you plan on being. Some of the other open-to-public ranges don't quite have that that commitment in their people that are shooting there. You know, maybe they go there and pay their money to shoot today, and maybe they're not even from here. Maybe they don't really care if they get kicked out, if they violate a safety rule or something. Maybe they don't plan on coming back at all. But our people are members, they're repeat, they're here, they're our friends, they're our family here. We do have a 100-yard rifle range indoors, as well as a 25-yard handgun range indoors. It seems that the vast majority of, probably over 90% of the indoor gun ranges, firing ranges, have got 25-yard only. Some of them allow rifle shooting as well as handgun. But here we've got a designated 25-yard handgun range, a designated 100-yard rifle range, and so maybe you're getting ready to go hunting or just target practicing, practicing for a competition. 100 yards seems to be the standard that so many people sight their rifles in for, and we've got that here indoors. When you're doing this type of sighting in or load development, it's indoors, so we don't have wind. You can do it after work. We're open until 8 p.m., so it can be dark outside, but we've still got the lights on and heat on inside here at Trigger Time. We've got a league night that we have every other week here, or twice per month, that actually we go out in front of the firing line. This is after Trigger Time is closed, so it's Sunday evening after hours. We've got a handgun competition that we go out. It allows us to do some moving and shooting in front of the firing line. There's a course that's set up. There's multiple range officers as well as people assisting with the match. So it lets you practice again indoors. This is in the evening, and it gets you ready. It is our own competition that we score and keep track of, and it gets you ready for the bigger matches. Be that on a national level or local level, whatever your interests are.
So typically we show up early. We get some stages pulled together. The stages are not, it's not like a bullseye match. So we have, the targets are slightly larger and there's time constraints. You need to move around the stage that we build, and you need to reload and engage targets from different angles. It's complicated, it's interesting.
We've got a gunsmith in-house that builds some of the finest long-range rifles. We've got a second armor in the back that helps with simple sight installs, trigger jobs, action jobs, these type of things. So we've got everything that goes from that simple sight change all the way up to an exotic $10,000 custom rifle that you can go out and hit targets at a mile and even beyond with. And that's all done in-house by our people, handled here. We show you the components that are available. We show you completed rifles. You like this stock, you like this action, you like this trigger. We marry that all together then to provide exactly what you want in a rifle, not something that's prepared for the masses of people. It's exactly what you want. What weight do you want it to be? Is it a hunting rifle you want it lighter? Is it a match rifle that you want it to be softer to shoot, easier to shoot for hours at a time? At an all-day event, it's got to fit you good. It's got to be comfortable for you.
My favorite equipment I run, Patrick Jones is our gunsmith, and he primarily focuses on building precision rifles, and I love his rifles. He is very, very serious about building guns. I've never shot a rifle that shoots better than Pat's, and I love taking a piece of kit out in the field that I know he put a lot of heart and soul in, and try and doing the best work I can with it to make him proud of his work. I really get a lot of enjoyment out of that.
I went to a Trinidad State junior college down in southeast Colorado, very small town. So I was there for 3 years, 2 years for the associate's degree program, and then another year for my advanced trade certificate. You start with an action, a barrel. The barrel will have the rifling cut inside, but it will not have a hole in the back to accept the cartridge, so it needs to have a chamber cut in the rear. The front needs to be finished with a crown and potentially threads if you need to put some sort of muzzle device on there. All of this is fit to the action. Then the action and the barrel are fit to the stock. Probably better than 50% of what I build right now is 6.5 Creedmoor.
So another thing that we've got at Trigger Time is we've got a well-stocked pro shop. We've got all of our staff is going to be able to answer any questions you have on firearms. We try to stock, the average handguns, and then we take it a step further. So you'll find a lot of high-end. We've got Nighthawk here. We've got STI here. Rifle-wise, we've got Desert Tech.
We really try to provide a very open environment for new shooters to come. I know, being a new shooter myself at one point, obviously, it's pretty intimidating to go into a shop and ask questions of people behind the counter that appear to be very seasoned shooters, and a lot of times you'll get a lot of very strong opinions from people behind the counters, and it's usually based on personal preferences, and oftentimes I think in all hobbies, in all things that people get into, you don't necessarily get information that's tailored to you. We really try to hear who the shooter is, what they want out of the sport, how they want to shoot, and try to help them progress that way instead of mixing in our favorite kit. We want to tune it to them, right? Hand size is very critical. Just so many factors that you have to listen to from the shooter's perspective and understand what they need to get out of it.
As far as what we like to offer at the shop, we try to carry knives that are more along the lines of the nice rifles and handguns we sell. So we do sell a lot of Benchmade. It's probably our all-time favorite brand. And within that range, we can find anything from a small pocket knife to a big hunting knife or survival knife, and a lot of things in between as well. One of my favorite things to do is help people figure out which knife fits them the best based on how they dress and where they go on a day-to-day basis. It's something I get into a little bit. It's fun.
We try to do a good mix of things for shooters. STI is one of our favorite pistol brands. We try to have them out a couple times a year, have them bring a dozen or so of their most common popular pistols, and we'll turn everybody loose with them and get some instruction from the STI pros and be able to experience everything. You know, it's hard to get a feel for a firearm that you haven't shot. You know, they all look and present differently, but until you can get behind the trigger and really see, you know, the STI Omni is a wonderful gun. It's a comped gun, so the recoil on it is very soft, and you can't tell that until you shoot it. So we try to provide those kind of experiences for shooters so you can really, again, be more effective to deliver the kit that works well for them.
I've been to other places that might be in a similar type of sport, but the demographics aren't as wide range as we get. So when I tell people around, give them a tour of our shop and show them around, I tend to tell them that you'll find all walks of life here. You know, we have folks that are construction guys and ditch diggers, tile setters, and we have folks that are doctors and lawyers and the whole like. We all come here for the same reason, to shoot and relax and hang out with people we like.
I think Trigger Time is an amazing place, genuinely. I think we're really great ambassadors for shooting sports. It's not a hunting club, it's not anything really specific. We're just a bunch of enthusiasts that like all different genres of shooting.
As a club, as a store and as a shooting range, we get compared to a lot to what you'd think of as your local coffee shop. Everyone comes here to hang out, they want to be together. I'd say one of our best attributes is our ability to create a nice community. People come and hang out with us, and sometimes they don't even shoot. They just want to be in the shop, be around us, and we like to be around them.
Trigger Time is different than other places I've worked and other firearms retailers I've been into. It's a family. Sometimes we fight with each other. We're always giving each other crap, but it's a family. And I think we treat our customers differently when they come through the front door. We try to be friendly. We don't discriminate, gender or anything else. And we just try to treat people like we would want to be treated.
The biggest thing is the family atmosphere.
That's probably one of the things I'm most proud of here at Trigger Time, is we are truly a family shooting center.
So I want it on the record that Zach has said that this Nighthawk is a, quote, Jackson gun. Is that correct?
That's correct.
It's a Jackson gun. All right, I'm holding you to that. That's only like $5, right?
Yeah.
$5. You heard him. All right. Well, I hope this has given you a chance to see what Trigger Time is all about. It's a really wonderful community. Anyone who's interested in the shooting sports, whether a beginner or an expert, this is where you need to be. For now, from beautiful Colorado, we're wishing you
All the best.
all the best.
All the best. Yes, indeed.